to know why Efren is still up there, because he doesn't belong up there. And I want to know why you ignored the preliminary directive to ask Fridas to take Dalhouse off our streets and what you're going to do about it. And I will see the rest of my time so you can answer that question, but I know you're just going to hide from it like you always do.
Thomas Morabito, followed by Carla Greenan.
Smirking is not nice.
Thomas Morabito, Sebastopol. Last time I stood before you, I had to wait a half hour for you to come out of closed session. I sat respectfully for an hour of public comment, and then I had to wait another hour while you gave the class detention, because you could not control one of the people in the public. And then when I came to talk, you cut my time by a third, from 3 minutes to 2 minutes. Hardly what I would call welcoming and encouraging public comment. I would have thought at least an apology to the rest of the public would have been in order, but none was forthcoming. I've come to ask you a few questions, not that I expect any answers. What I do expect is that you'll all put on your blank faces, give the public absolutely no feedback, and do your best to keep public comment and participation to an absolute minimum. There are two major trust issues in Sonoma County that are not going anywhere. The first is Deputy Dalhouse situation. The questions I have on that are, do you support the naming of the Memorial Park to be the Andy Lopez Memorial Park?
Yeah.
Does anybody want to give an answer? Blank faces, thank you. Why did you ignore the recommendation of your own appointed task force to not put Dalhouse back on the street? You completely ignored it, would not even let it be read at the meeting. Will we get an answer to that question? No, we'll get blank faces. Why will you not allow a group of citizens who have put in a ton of time at these meetings? They're not getting paid to do this. It's not a political enrichment for them to be doing this. And you won't allow them to show you a PowerPoint presentation? Why do you not want to see this? This is the public, the people you represent. Why do you not want to see this? Will you answer that? There has been no outreach by the Sheriff's Department to the public since this occurred. None.
None.
Can you give me an example of the sheriff reaching out to the public to try to heal the community? No, you can give me blank faces. Let's get to the other trust issue. 32 seconds. First, we have to pretend that the first felony arrest of Efren Carrillo was some kind of mistake. And that really what happened was some kind of heroic effort he made down there defending the honor of women in San Diego.
Yeah, right.
Okay? We all pretend that. Now, we have to pretend that the second felony arrest was also some kind of misunderstanding. A little peeking. No, it wasn't even peeking. Okay? And now, we're all asked to pretend now, all of Sonoma County, that this civil suit, which is being...
Thank you, Thomas.
I had 5 seconds left and you cut me off. You won't even give me the last 5 seconds.
Thank you, Thomas.
Yes, thank you.
Carla,
Thank you for not representing me.
Carla Greenan, followed by Elaine Holt.
We need more police here so they can walk around in the audience and harass us.
Carla Greenan. Carla, are
I
you
can't hear you. What?
Okay, Carla, come on down.
Still can't hear you. My hearing's bad, you know.
Thank you, Thomas.
Too much noise in here for me to hear anything. What's Chris say?
I think that's a great idea. Welcome to America.
Hurry up.
Can you tell me whose name it is that follows mine?
I'm sorry, Elaine Holtz is following you.
I see, okay. I want to thank whoever put my name in today. I didn't write anything or give as much thought. I was thinking about the folks in Baltimore. But I will say, I stand behind everybody that came before me, and I think it's a shame how you handle this, and you appear to not care. And you don't listen to the people, and you just want to rush folks out of here and get on with it. I feel the only time you listen to people is when it's time to vote. or even look at them, or acknowledge them. And I can tell you for a fact, if this had happened, Andy Lopez, to any one of you, to you or someone you know, you care about, your neighbor, someone like you, things would have been handled differently.
Yep.
And Eric Galhouse would not be on the street.
Yeah, it would have been different.
Maybe a white kid.
Elaine
Maybe a white
Holtz,
kid.
followed by Marty Robb.
First Amendment of the United States Constitution, we have the right to speak. On May 12th, the Community Local Law Enforcement Task will provide you with their recommendations. They worked hard to pull something together. However, I am disappointed in the result. It feels just like the elections. We vote for the lesser of two evils. And in this case, the two evils are the recommendations, which are extremely weak, or do nothing at all. I have to go along with the recommendations at the start. I'm very disappointed. I'm a woman who marched for abortion. I came over all the way from Rohnert Park when Helen Rudy ran, so inspired that women were running and were going to hold office. I am so disappointed that a request made to the Board of Supervisors to present the PowerPoint that was made by a group of concerned voters is so hard. If I were sitting in your seat, I would be begging for the public to give me a presentation. Nothing will change until we stop catering to special interest groups and start listening to constituents. It's amazing, paid bureaucrats have more say in this than I do. And I have a master's degree, and I would challenge any one of them to even come close to some of the degrees that I have. And yet nobody's listening to when I make a suggestion. Nothing will change until we change. The Children's Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the United States is the only one of two countries that did not accept it, because we like to kill our children, says anyone under 18 years old is a child. Andy Lopez was only 13 years old when Eric Galhouse fired 8 bullets, 7 into that young boy's body. It's been over a year, and I'll tell you something, I don't stop thinking about it. I'm a mother and I'm a grandmother, and I don't care what color that kid was. It could have been my child, and we have to look at it that way. There goes for fortune, go you and I. I pray it doesn't happen to your children or your grandchildren in the future. And if we don't do something, it is going to happen. 14 more people were killed in this county since Andy Lopez. There's something wrong here. We have women in office, and of course, still our children are getting killed. We still have wars. I do not feel safe in my own community. Congratulations, the task force will tell you what you want to hear. Staff is great at putting the right words in front of you. They get paid very well to do that. But we, the people, know the truth. You adopted a gold resolution, May 15, 2015, as Peace Officers Memorial Day. I was the lone vote on the Human Rights Commission. I said no. There's too much going on. How can we do something like this? Where's the people? Where's the human rights for the people? Remember, the public, I myself, I'm not getting paid. I show up free. I just want a safe world for our children.
Thank you, Elaine.
Mr. Carrillo just got engaged. He has a beautiful young boy to take care of. Start thinking, Evelyn, what this means.
Thank you, Elaine. Marty Robb, followed by Scott Wagner.
Oh, she's got her assault. That's pretty brave.
Two people is not enough. 2 people is not enough.
Here's a little toy replica that our little boy Andy, right? Little boy Andy, more 12 than 13. Remember that? He just turned 13. 3 pounds, okay? Not 9.5 unloaded, okay? We want this man off the streets. You already received the recommendation to get Galhouse off the streets, and you ignored it. And this is outrageous that you just completely ignored your own task force, okay? And I'm asking why. I know it's rhetorical. You're not going to answer a damn question, right? Today was a year since the Andy Lopez Memorial pickup line has been out in front of the courthouse. And we were talking about Baltimore also, because, not long ago, right, a few days ago, Marilyn Mosby indicted 6 officers, murder and manslaughter, and we could only have hoped that our DA would have done the same thing. But she was not
Yeah,
courageous
right.
enough, she wasn't brave enough, and she wasn't smart enough to do that. So we're always asking, get this man off the streets, right? This is just one start. I mean, he's just one cop in this town of several who aren't very good cops. And there are other good cops. There are good cops, right? And he gives them a bad name. And they don't want to be with him. They don't want to be around him. We know what's going on. We hear that Bell House is being a little bit ostracized. And don't deny it. So, here's the petitions. We have all these petitions. See how it's growing? See how it's growing? The last few pages here, look at all these pages here. Those pages, those are online petitions, okay? Those are alone of 1,500 right there. Then we have all these, okay? There's 10 on every page. Okay, you can act like, and Freitas can tell you, oh, there are just a few people that don't want Yale House back on the streets. That's a lie. Okay? And it really, another thing that just really pisses me off is that I just heard that we're probably not going to be able to do the PowerPoint. And that's outrageous. We did a beautiful PowerPoint. The task force really did like it a whole lot. And we deserve that. Okay? You're not giving us anything. This is what the people, we're the people. This is what we deserve to do. Okay? And I want you to take this. This is the little boy, Andy Lopez, right? And I want you to think about that. 14 more people have died, okay, at the hands of law enforcement or while in custody, okay? So do your job. And don't stonewall us, and don't just stare at us and act like it doesn't matter, because it matters a lot. You need to take care of business. Got it?
Thank you, Marty.
You.
Scott Wagner, followed by Chris Rapp.
Take these petitions and look through them and read the names, okay? Because there's more coming every week. More and more and more. And they're going to go to the Press Democrat, too, okay? Because Democrats going to get it, too. Hope nobody shoots me.
Yeah, really.
Real, just by the weight of it, how it moves. Anybody can see that.
Hi, my name is Scott Wagner. I'm just here really to second these people that have been working as activists on this for so long. I wonder, should we even proceed without a quorum here? It doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, where's Shirley?
Jeez.
Should we wait for?
It's okay, go ahead. It's not okay with us.
Maybe we should all walk out of the room.
Jeez.
We'll talk to the lady.
What a way to go. Over a half dozen of us are prepared a fair amount of material here to discuss Deputy Sheriff Galehouse, and I think it's just frustrating to me to deal with 2 supervisors about it. So I prefer to wait, if that's all right.
It is incumbent upon the county leaders to be
If
responsible.
you want to cede your time, that's fine.
I don't want to see my time.
Okay,
I
well
don't
then,
wanna be
your
difficult.
time is running, so go ahead and present your information. It would be helpful.
Is there a quorum here?
No.
No. Can you answer that? It's a legitimate question. Is there a quorum?
County Council.
When the public talks, there doesn't need to be a quorum because they don't record it or care about it.
Oh, that's right.
There are 3 members here. Supervisor Zane excused herself. I expect her to be back.
Right now, there's one.
Right.
Right now.
Right, she's not back. So not back is not back.
Should we wait, or should we?
I would proceed if you have a comment to make.
Why would you proceed?
Well,
Who's gonna wait for Zane to come back? That's a good one. That's a good one.
Support for these people who have worked so hard on this issue, and I watch them do that. They sacrifice so much of their time and effort and energy, and they feel so strongly about this.
That's because we don't have jobs.
The Tuesday.
We're bums.
We don't really count.
Bums.
It's the rich winery.
There's no way to go.
count, the ones that can put them in office.
Yeah.
Trust fund babies, remember?
They work so hard on, and the presentation that they do, it's inspiring to watch people get so much out of that when they come on Tuesdays. And the fear and the anger and the concern of the community is really palpable and apparent
No.
Chris Shaw, followed by Thomas. Bigley. Hi, Thomas. Chris Shaw.
So like that.
Well, there's a lot more people here than there is here, so if you don't mind. The last time we had an election for a sheriff, and most of you may not know this, over 20 years ago. Okay? These people up here will tell you, well, we got to know about sheriff. He's elected, and you guys are really good. And so that's not entirely true, but I won't get into that. But what is important to know is that 1994 was the last time the sheriff was elected by the people. Sheriffs run unopposed in Sonoma County. Now, I don't know what you call it when the sheriff doesn't have to get elected. He's just automatically rubber stamp sheriff. And if it's not done, 1994 is the last time it was done, I don't know. Could that be a police state where the chief law enforcement officer for all of your lives is not elected, but you pretend to be elected?
Welcome to Sonoma
And he
County.
just stays there? Now, I know, Fred, it hasn't been there the whole time, but it is true that the law enforcement culture in Sonoma County decides, not the voters, not us. They decide who's going to run for sheriff, and he runs unopposed, okay? And the guy you got now, oh, man. I would ask one of these guys, but I know they won't be able to answer me about, why is it that that lady in Sebastopol that you chased for quite some time, that lady was ever driving around and dressed up from Santa Cruz, and she chased her for some time. She stops in the parking lot in Sebastopol, and somehow or another, the sheriff has people that are trained, instead of blocking her in so she can't go anywhere, blocking her car in, what do? They get out and they walk around with their guns behind the car. And they end up shooting her because she puts her car into reverse. Why in the hell are they on their foot around that vehicle? Where is this? I mean, I'm not law enforcement. Come on, you don't have to be a genius. 19 seconds.
Be a genius, good thing.
How long Eric Gelhoff stared from 20 yards to Danny Lopez on a clear, sunny afternoon. 20 yards away, you tell me you can't see a little boy that high walking, swinging a little gun? You got 19 seconds to look at him on a clear, sunny afternoon, and you don't know what you're looking at from 20 yards away? What are you trained? I'll tell you what you're trained to do. You're trained to shoot instantly within 3 seconds. You're trained to make that decision that fast. Not trained to wait to see what you're shooting at. Some of these guys should learn to be good at it. Then they wouldn't be shooting at bushes. You learn that when they're little kids learn to throw.
Thank you, Chris. Thomas Bigley, followed by Magic.
Considering the social trauma and societal wreckage that Officer Eric Gelhouse has wrought upon Southwest Santa Rosa specifically and Sonoma County in general, by savagely pumping 7 bullets into the young body of 13-year-old Andy Lopez, thereby causing his untimely death, I have to confess that I am shocked, dismayed, disappointed, and disturbed that this very same officer is still patrolling the streets of Sonoma County. I must confess at this point that my curiosity has been titillated. Why has Gelhouse been allowed to continue in patrol duty capacity, and why have the government gatekeepers been eerily silent on this issue? 1. Is the reason for Gelhouse's continued patrol duty because, after serving multiple military tours of duty and after witnessing the horrors of war firsthand, he has been so robbed of all emotion, feeling, and sense of humanity, and has become so devoid of conscience that he simply cannot grasp the severity of his actions caused by his extremely poor decisions? 2. Is the reason that Gelhouse continues to serve in a patrol duty capacity because Gelhouse simply has such a gargantuan-sized ego and has no honor and therefore cannot bring himself to do the right thing? 3. Is the reason for Gelhouse's continued assignment to patrol duty due to Sheriff Steve Freitas' continued recalcitrance, stubbornness, and unresponsiveness to heed the calls of thousands of community members who have spoken in public and signed petitions demanding that Gelhouse be reassigned? 4. Or is the reason for Gelhouse's continued assignment to patrol duty because you, the Sonoma County Board of Supervisors, have inexplicably sat silently and idly by, circling the proverbial wagons while clinging like Velcro to the tired byline that this is just a matter for the sheriff and therefore we can't or won't get involved, and that this has provided further affirmation for Sheriff Freitas' decision to keep Gelhouse patrolling the streets of Sonoma County after killing a 13-year-old boy in one of the poorest, underprivileged, and shamefully neglected neighborhoods located on the outskirts of the land of wealth, entitlement, and privilege in that fantasy fiefdom known throughout the world as the wine country. And now we learn that Sheriff Freitas has made the decision to assign Delhouse to the land of liberalism known as the West County, with the hope, I presume, that those of us who live in that socially and geographically resplendent part of this county will be more sensitive, compassionate, and understanding of his plight and won't mind at all. Well, guess what? I do mind. And so do scores of West County community members with whom I have spoken. In fact, they have become downright aghast and appalled when I have broken the shocking, scary news to them. To date, you have failed to heed the concerns of a majority of your constituents and act upon the task force's interim recommendation to send a letter to the sheriff asking that Delhouse be reassigned. I am asking you now to break that silence, demonstrate true leadership, and write the damn letter.
Thank you. Magic, followed by Susan Lamont.
I think that your statement, we'd like to believe that you want to hear from us, and Shirley Zane has chosen to not be here. And we also are not videotaped and shown to the rest of the public. Only us, only the public is not shown to the public. So that does not show respect for us. I worked hard to try to create a bridge because I invite all people to come to the table at this critical time in this country. And I first contacted you, Susan Gorin, on January 28th. On February 19th, you responded accordingly. I anticipate that the task force may make a lengthy presentation to the board, depending on how many groups or organizations would like to address the board. We would potentially allow you 15 minutes to a half hour for your information. So, you called me yesterday. And up until then, I had sent you other emails saying, you know, where do we stand? Only the time was in contention. There are no other groups that are going to present. And we were willing to stop for the 15 minutes. But no, you offered us our own time. You offered us to have public comment time for our time. You weren't offering us anything. I said that to you 5 times yesterday. What don't you get? You're the one that suggested, Susan Gorin, to have it on the day of the task force. We did not. We asked any time at a board meeting. And you say you respect us? You could have bridged the gap. I could have gone to the task force last night and said, all these citizens that have come here. Instead, I had to announce emotionally, because I'd worked hard to try to hold out some hope that you would actually care about us. But you don't. You don't care about the people. Also, you said that you wanted to respect, other groups. No other groups. That was just a ploy. And then you said, you never told me. You said 5 times, you never told me that you had offered us time for presentation. And I just read it to you. You lied to me over and over again. But I was hoping that you would actually have the courage as a woman, because you pretended during election that you wanted to represent us. And this is what's become of it. The country is exploding. The world is exploding. You people have either going to represent us, or your time is up. Not our time. Your time. So come to the table. Wake up. A child is dead, and what really bothers you all is we have not emotionally let go of that feeling of a child dying. We haven't decided to nitpick about words about tiny little changes. We are done with our people being killed. We are being murdered.
Thank you, Magic.
Who got to you?
Susan
The
Lamont,
council is not getting elected. That's where they're getting.
followed by
their
Alan
rules.
Friedman.
That's who's running the
You
show.
should address us why you changed your mind.
Yeah,
Why?
why? Yeah, why don't you?
That's why, Susan.
Oh, we don't get to know why
Don't
you
be a
changed your
coward.
mind? We don't get to know that?
You can respond to
Tell us.
us.
You
Talk.
can't tell us why
Now.
you're lying to us?
Every time,
Now you can talk.
Please let Susan speak.
Quite a show.
every time,
Instead of starting over.
I think it can't get worse from my supposed representatives. It gets even worse. That we have to be ignored at the
Where's
same
the rabbit
time.
at? He's
I
gone, too.
can't count how many times I've been told by an elected representative, oh, we wish the people would show up. We wish they would participate.
Yeah, right.
crocodile tears and bullshit. Anytime anybody shows up, they
That's
are
a nasty thing for a maiden to
marginalized,
say.
they
Yeah, but
represent
necessary.
no one, they are people who don't have lives. The other 200,000 residents of Sonoma County over the age of 18 are all too busy. All those ones that all agree with you are all too busy. And us losers, we're here.
Ooh. Ow.
Instead of being thanked
We got
for
26
caring
minutes and
about
something.
this. So
Oh, boy, it's doing it.
we get to present to the
My arm's
task
gonna be
force,
sore for nothing.
but only government organizations and law enforcement and special interests who are going to agree with you get to present. Is this democracy? We get no recording of us. We insist, and we are going to make it happen, that PowerPoint be presented when it will be on the record.
Right.
This is a total sham. This is the proof to supervisors. This is the proof that you don't care. Now, I was not at last night's task force meeting. I was at the one before that. And Ernie Carpenter showed up, who learned his lesson to be a supervisor really, really well, which is screw the public. He got up and reprimanded us and told us we had no ideas. He failed to mention that we had a PowerPoint, because that comes from us, so that's the same as no ideas. So you people, if anybody wants to read, there's articles about the sham election for sheriff in here. There's the exposure of all the money behind James Gore. Other issues are all about the people who are behind Efren Carrillo. We can learn who owns this government, and we know, since there's only 2 supervisors up there, that it sure ain't us.
Thank you.
No.
Thank you, Susan.
Alan, have you tried picking up today? I got to pick up what the real thing feels like. Have you tried?
Alan
Have you
Freeman?
tried?
Alan, are you here? There you are.
It's impossible.
Followed by
to think
Alfredo
about
Sanchez.
that.
Thank you. I am offended by the lack of quorum, but I'll say this anyway because I spent all day working on it. I'd like to acknowledge and thank both the Department of Health Services and the Board of Supervisors for the new Children's Dental Health Program that addresses previously unmet needs in the children of low-income families. This program is currently serving more than 1,200 students in at least 6 elementary schools and a middle school. The biggest bang for the buck is preventive oral hygiene education. And this is money very well spent. I hope it will be rapidly expanded to all our schools. Let's put a stop to dental caries in Sonoma County. The second part of this 2-pronged program offers free dental assessments and some treatments. And I also wholeheartedly endorse that. It's more expensive, but it's a wise investment in our future. However, there is one further aspect which concerns me. But first, let me draw an analogy. Remember when the Reagan administration came to power? They were determined to reduce the federal budget, and one of their targets was the school lunch program. They had a political demand to cut costs, and yet did not want the guilty conscience of having deprived children of nutrients. As a result, they declared ketchup to be a vegetable. We're about to do the same thing in Sonoma County. Dental education is a win-win, but we're looking for more ways to feel good without spending much money. One method in particular is arguably estimated at only $1 per person per year. It sounds like another victory, but it's not. Do you follow me? I'm not talking about tooth decay, but truth decay. Modern science is finding that fluoridation is neither safe nor effective, and it will be most detrimental to those disadvantaged children who have suboptimal nutrition and will be drinking the water long after I'm dead. Just for example, fluoride's effects on the thyroid are most pronounced in the presence of iodine deficiency, which is of epidemic proportions in our society. My source for this is on page 225 of the National Academy's 2006 report, Fluoride in Drinking Water. Perhaps you should read that report. The Center for Disease Control admits that fluoride's predominant effect is post-eruptive and topical, a direct quote. That means it works when applied to tooth surfaces, but not by swallowing. I don't think either of the county board supervisors are listening to me. Neither is looking at me, really. One looks asleep. Fluoride is ineffective, but more importantly, it is unsafe. Before you vote on fluoridation, you have a fiduciary responsibility to listen, to wake up, and to listen to both sides and come to understand the preponderance of genuine science on the toxicology of fluoride. Someday, fluoride will be in the same situation as asbestos and tobacco. Both genuine remorse and also financial liability will be rampant. There are loopholes in the state fluoridation mandate which exempts Sonoma County, and therefore liability will come down to the We don't need any of that. I don't know who's pressuring you, but show your strength. Just say no to fluoride and put that whole issue to bed. Reallocate the money for the indisputable benefits of oral hygiene education, or put it towards supplying clean water during this historic drought. This is not a year to mess with our water supply. Thank you.
Thank
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Alfredo Sanchez, followed by Colleen Pinal.
It doesn't surprise me, because I know exactly who you guys represent. You guys represent the bourgeois, of this county. So there is no disrespect toward me, including you, Efren. You are not one of me. You don't represent my people. And I am very happy right now. Right now I am very happy, and I'll tell you why. For these people having the courage to come here and put up with this bullshit. And another thing is, I haven't brought Mexicans in here. You know why? Because I don't like my people to be disrespected. I don't like them being disrespected in the street, and I don't like them being disrespected right here. I'm not a fucking bum. You don't never call me a bum. You don't call these people bums. If anybody's a bum, it's you leeches. You are living off whatever we are paying. I work for my money. You are living off our taxes. You are living off our taxes. You know what? I read from the year 2000 of 70 people getting killed. I only got to the 25, 30 people that I read, their little thing, and I got sick. I said, this is bad. It's like bad parenting. And then I skipped a whole, and then I started up again, and I said, shit, you know what? It's just bad government. It's bad government in Sonoma County. If somebody got killed, I'm telling you right now, man, if somebody got killed in Fountain Grove, you guys would be over there day and night.
Yep.
Day and night.
Yep.
And you know what? You have the best psychiatrist over there giving them therapy. When it came down to Moreland, as soon as that kid got killed, in 10 seconds, you can sit policemen out there again in another, and had 13-year-old kids with guns on their hands.
A pregnant woman.
And a pregnant woman. Think about that. So it's definitely, you know what? You don't represent me, and I don't worry about this, but the change is coming. It might be coming slow, but change is coming.
It is.
And I'm going to tell you, and you guys are not in the future. You guys are not in the future, because you know what? We got the people. And you can buy your way out as much as you want to, but you know what? It's over.
Yep.
It's over.
Yep.
You have your chance to represent. History is judging you now. History is judging you now. Give me a break. Come on, give me a break. Give me a break. And you know what? As far as policemen, officer, I'm going to tell you something. I started to think, are they good cops or bad cops? Because I don't want to be good cops or bad cops. I'm going to tell you one thing. And I tell my kids, I got 10 kids, and I'm going to tell you this right now. If a woman's getting raped right there, if she's getting raped right there, and I'm here, and so is Eddie right there, and we don't do nothing, we never touched a woman, you know what? We're as guilty as those people that are raping that woman.
Yes.
You're guilty. You're guilty. You're guilty. Take your responsibility. You're guilty.
Okay, could you
History
please
judges
read
you
that
now.
before I come up there and move across the door? No, it's scary. It was scary to Eric Gellas. It's scary. It's a toy gun. I didn't know they were bringing one. Colleen from Elkins asked to call, and I tried to tell the deputies in advance. When I was 8 years old, and I was recovering from near death from being exposed, maybe deliberately, let's go ask Mike Thompson's office. He sent me the file
At night, it was a weapon of mass destruction, just like the wooden spoon. Just like the mother who pulls the kid away from the Baltimore riots with violence, saying, stop violence,
I believe
end
no, it's an
violence.
inside job always.
She should have said, officer, let's
Maggie.
go out and talk with my son about how he should respect you and how he wants to have protectors talk to the Peace and Justice Center about how to get permits and do it without violence. But where does the Peace and Justice Center about the unconstitutional use of force and trying to use that on your agenda? Stop public violence on 17.2. Instead, you have this firefighter from the union saying, give us more money so we can have safe roads. The threat of our insecurity, having them have a policy that whether they like me or not, they can shoot me just because they think I'm having a bad day, and they can make it up and say because I'm reaching for something, and they think I'm a threat. That's the threat I live with every day, because Everett Carrillo got away with his crimes. Paul Hobbs are getting away with their crimes because of corruption within, I'm sorry, sirs, the Sonoma County Sheriff's Department, the DA, and you know the Santa Rosa Police Chiefs Association, instead of that guy, the city manager, getting a clean sheriff, a clean police chief that he could have had from Vancouver, to Lamont wanted and the others. No, we got the dirty guy to keep it very dirtier. So on the task force opened up on the details of all the crimes, including the death of my daughter. I want agendas of nulling public law 107243 because you asked Congress to do it. And not only did you ask this congressman to do it, you said, what about the tests they did on your own people in the military? Besides Agent Orange that killed my dad, but spinal meningitis, perhaps? What else?
Thank you, Colin.
He sent me the file. I'm not making this up. Research it.
Peter, thank
And if
you,
you
Colin.
don't, procedure for recalling local officials. Let's have a Department of Justice investigation on lawful law enforcement here and local politicians that are having
Thank you,
Department
Colleen.
of Justice get away all
Peter.
the time.
There's two items with public hearing after they close this public hearing, and we can speak on both of those two items. So if you'd like to stay and get a few more minutes to speak, the next two items are public hearings.
That's what Hazel Mitchell used to do.
Thank you, Tom.
That's the only advice I've given to them for about 5 years. Okay. So, Elaine B. Holtz is one of my favorite people, you know, and when she said, we the people know the truth, don't we know the truth?
Yeah.
And shame on you all for not acting on it. But you don't know the truth, and you're not even we the people. Legally, lawfully speaking, we the people is a term that's a reference to bar lawyers, just so you know. How is it that those who most loudly complain maintain the blues as they continually refuse to cease the insane? Am I dreaming? Am I on a slab with electrodes attached to my head? Are these people around me alive or dead? Is this a nightmare where people dare to say they care, yet to lesser, totally innocent life forms, the sentients, they remain murderously unfair? Is this a twilight zone where everyone but me has a zombie cell phone, whereas they both fund yet complain of the military drone? No justice, no peace? That's correct. Upon this fact reflect, the hypocrisy might you detect. No one here has ever seen true justice, let alone peace. For this insanity to impeach, whereas to be attaining each a simple 40-day walk, the promised land will beseech. With all my heart and all my soul, this promised land be my most beautiful goal. How be it those seeking justice and peace maintain 14 million daily murders which only they can cease. To deny me, you deny yourselves, therefore denying the living Lord. A mighty force maintains the blade, yet only an almighty force lays down the sword. I've really got enough. All right, I got one fan there. I've been weary of sharing a prophecy, an answer that solves every one of these issues, and to hear people continually speak about things they cannot fix while refusing to free these terrified animals lined up all over this country in slaughterhouses, watching those before them be mutilated, screaming. And that's the same energy that's in this room that keeps the minds confused. I don't know what more else to do or say. I'm really getting weary. With all my heart, I pray that you open your heart. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
Sure.
Let's close the public comment time and move on to item number 31.